Hello, my name is Claire Schneider, and I've been conducting small conversation groups for many years in my role as an ESL instructor. And today I'm going to be talking about how to set up a mini group for ENGin. Now, there are obviously many ways to do this, but I'm just going to tell you about one way that I think is easy to set up and is also easy to conduct. So I'll be talking about three aspects to this. The first one will be about how to choose the topics and find questions. The second part will be about time management. And the third part is about error correction, which is obviously an important part of the process. So regarding the first part, choosing a topic, you can just ask the students to give you their 2 or 3 favorite topics. And in that way, you can gather enough for many weeks. The other way is to conduct a poll in your Telegram or WhatsApp chat that you'll set up. And you can get the students to answer in that way. And you'll end up with plenty of topics. ENGin, I'm sure, will provide you with resources to find questions that relate to certain topics. And actually, these are very available online as well, if you just run a simple Google search. So that part, I would say, is pretty fast and it's pretty easy to do. Second part is time management. Obviously, this is another important aspect because we want to make sure the students have enough time to share their ideas and to feel heard, so that at the end of the session, they feel like they had good opportunity to practice their speaking skills. You may need to remind them gently about the importance of sharing time, but I have not generally had a problem with this. And then the third part is to think about how to correct students when they make a mistake, and also how to deliver those corrections to them. So how much and how to do it. And I would suggest that you ask the students about this. So you could just ask them, how much would you like to be corrected? I have found generally with the ENGin students that they really want to be corrected. And so you can consider this when you think about how often to correct them. Of course, we don't want to overcorrect, because that can be disheartening and it can make them feel embarrassed. So I think the best way is to seek guidance from them. The way I do it generally is I type the corrections to their mistakes in the chat while they're speaking. Unless they're making the same mistake repeatedly, in that situation, I may interrupt them, and so that they can start using the word or the phrase correctly. Usually, though, I don't want to interrupt their flow, and so I just listen and type. That being said, I had a student recently who said she found that quite distracting because she found herself looking at the chat and then looking back at us in the Zoom room. So in that case, for her, I just write notes while she's speaking, and when she's done speaking, I tell her verbally about her mistakes. As I said, our students are the best guides, and so you can just follow their suggestions. In terms of what I correct, I do correct obvious pronunciation mistakes, like if they put the stress in the wrong part of the word so that it's difficult to understand, or if they say with regular past tense verbs, for instance, if they add an extra syllable or they don't add a syllable when they should, then I correct that. For example, if they say something like, I took it to my friend at the weekend, or I washed my car on Sunday, we will practice those. Or if they make grammar mistakes, for instance, with the past tense, if they say, last Sunday, I ride my bike to the supermarket, I will correct that. And also with third person S's, for example, if they say, she have a new car, I would correct something like that. Or if they don't add an S with a third person when they should. So for example, he make a cake every Sunday. I will correct that to, from he makes. These are, in a way, not serious mistakes. They're very detailed, but they are mistakes that I've noticed students can carry on with them through the years, so that if they're not corrected, they can become habits. And the longer they have that habit, the more difficult it is to change it. So I do recommend changing mistakes like that. If you ask the student to correct themselves, they will usually be able to do it. They do know these kinds of things. But when they're thinking about so many things when they're speaking, they sometimes are careless. And so it's just, we just need to sort of remind them. In fact, instead of writing something in the chat, you even could just sort of raise a finger so that they can correct themselves on the spot. That would be another way to do that. That's all I have to share today. And I hope that you enjoy hosting these groups as much as I do. And I wish you all the best.